So the biggest question that I have is, will Gran Turismo 7 live up to all the hype? Because I am super hyped, and I know you are as well, for this amazing racing game to come out. Like, you've obviously seen like my 6 trillion videos of Gran Turismo 7 stuff on this channel. I cannot wait. But can this game live up to the hype? So as what we have seen so far, the gameplay looks very similar to Gran Turismo Sport, and I know there's a lot of people who really disliked Gran Turismo Sport because it was not the traditional Gran Turismo game, and I don't blame them. It wasn't. It was just basically, in my opinion, Gran Turismo Sport was just basically a beta to see if the esports side of Gran Turismo will work. And as we can see, it did. It worked. But what does that mean for the future? Well, that esports side of it is obviously going to be in Gran Turismo 7. That's a no-brainer. They would have to continue that. They've still got a partnership with the FIA. That's going to continue. However, now we've got our traditional campaign mode, which is my personal favorite. I love that. I love offline racing, but I also really like online racing as long as you get to go up against people who just don't want to just smash into you for no reason. Now, there's a lot of people who play the game and they play online, they complain about others, in reality they don't know how to drive themselves. But I'm not getting into that. What I'm getting into is, will Gran Turismo 7 live up to the hype? I personally think it will, as long as they do a couple of things. So number one, they've brought back campaign mode. That's great. That's fantastic. They've brought back used cars. That gets me excited because that's just great. And then next is they brought back car customization. Finally, they listened to us. That's what we wanted. We don't want some number mileage point thing to give us better this. We want customization. We want better exhaust. We want better brakes. We want to be able to control that kind of stuff. What I would really like to see myself is an easier livery creator. Now, the way it is right now is easy. I'm not going to ding it. But to upload your own liveries, your own decals, is quite hard. Now, how many people out there have Adobe, the editing suite, on their computer? That's essentially what you're going to need. There's a couple of different ways around it. Yes, I know. But you need to have that. You pretty well need to have that to be able to upload your decals and whatever else into the game. So what I have to get resorted to is some of my friends, they just downloaded a free trial of the Adobe suite, said done, upload, next. And then there's others who I myself, like me, have to create the decal or create the logo, send it off to a friend for him to convert it, and then send it back to me for me to upload. That's just a hassle. I understand why they don't want to take PNG or JPEG files, because those don't stretch evenly. If you start trying to stretch out one of those images, at that point, then it starts getting pixelated and all that. It doesn't look great. And I don't blame them, but is it really all that hard to code to allow JPEG and PNG files as long as they're over a certain size limit, maybe a certain amount of pixels? Maybe they might want to put in, you can now put JPEG and PNG files as long as they're over 3000 by 3000 pixels, or whatever it is. But I hope you're getting the point that would be fantastic if they were to do that. And of course, anyone who likes to customize their car could really go about doing that quite well, because then they can add in pictures of rust so that they can have a rat rod without having to try and figure out different paint schemes. And then they could just add a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I could add my YouTube channel on the side of my car. That would be fantastic. That would be really cool to do. So that is my hope for the livery editor. As far as living up to hopes, if they do that, plus a few other things like giving us the tracks that we really like. So I personally really like Côte d'Azur, as well as Smoky Mountain Rally, and those two racetracks are my personal favorites. Trial Mountain is another one that I absolutely loved as well, and that's coming back, so they're living up to some of the hype. Then, coming down to the cars. So, basically, there's three different ways they could go. There's one way where they give you limited amounts of cars, and that's it. That's all you're getting. We'll eventually update and give you more, kind of like they did with Sport. However, what I don't want to see is what they did in Sport, which was, here's a new car every day. Here. It's like Oprah. You get a car. No, you get a car. No, you get a car. We don't need that. Let's actually race and do missions and things like that to get cars. I don't want to be out there just getting 6 million cars without having to work for them. Maybe it's my generation where I just came in just before that generation who got everything handed to them when it comes to grades and stuff like that. And if it's you, I'm sorry, but that there's a lot of people who got participation trophies. And that is essentially what this Gran Turismo Sport did, was just hand out participation trophy cars. You do 25 miles in a day, you get a car. Well, that's no fun to me. That's just not fun. And then half the cars are crap. And half the cars I've got 5 of. So I don't really want to see that. I want to be able to work for my cars. And that might be just me, but that's how I think. And then there's also the ability to be able to upgrade our cars, which we are now able to do, which is fantastic. And these are my thoughts. If they do these things and they throw in a ton of cars and a ton of tracks and make them look good and race good, man, this game's going to be the best Gran Turismo ever if they do that. I hope that you've enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.